For more on this, let's go to former NYPD Special Investigator Michael Solomon. Mr. Solomon, nice to have you with us tonight. The attacker,
Pleasure to be with you, Ed.
you bet, the attacker still alive, serving up some information, and it sounds like an absolute confession after being Mirandaized. Your thoughts on how this investigation might be moving along?
Well, I got to tell you, as a former investigator, I am surprised that this guy's singing like a canary. My biggest concern originally was that there's an exception to the Miranda rule, which is called the public safety exception, which allows for existing circumstances where they can question him without Mirandaizing him. If we remember what happened in Boston when a federal judge walked into Zinari Brothers, and he gave him his Miranda warnings and shut down the entire investigation. That was my concern, that what was going to happen here. But unfortunately, fortunately for us, even though he was Mirandaized and he's given his rights, he's singing like a canary. And he's so proud of what he's done. I mean, we got to take heed in this, because if he's so proud of what he's done, how many more out there like him that we don't know about? And,
so
hopefully we can get more information from him.
Michael, would you consider this somewhat of an unusual investigation from that standpoint?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I've interrogated hundreds and hundreds of suspects, and they shut up like a vice. I mean, they just clamp down and they don't even want to talk to you. You know, the first words out of their mouth is lawyer, lawyer, lawyer. You know, or it's amazing. But he is surprising me, and I'm shocked by it.
He was very active. He was very active in interacting on social network with people. Give us a sense in today's world, how intense will this investigation be?
They're going to look at everything he says, every nuance of his words, of his actions, of his demeanor, and they're going to go after it. You know, somebody said, why are they leaving the truck there for 24 hours? They investigate every piece of that truck. They take every fingerprint out of that truck, because they don't know if somebody was with him and maybe got out of the truck a mile above the road, or somebody else rented it, or somebody was with him. They don't know that. So they're looking for DNA, they're looking for fingerprints, and this investigation is going to go on and on and on. And as far as social media, everybody has to step up when it comes to terrorism in the United States. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I remember in the San Bernardino case when Apple wouldn't release the iPhone so we could look at it and see who this guy was calling or talking to. Everybody has to get involved. You can't not sit back with your head in the sand.
And are there recommendations that come from investigators to higher authorities? I mean, how much will change in terms of readiness after an attack like this?
Well, we're not only looking at what happened in New York. We look at things that have happened all over the world, and we try to ready ourselves for those things. I mean, we look at the truck incident that happened in Nice, France over a year ago. And we started to harden some of our soft targets here. You know, we've put barriers up in Times Square in New York. There are barriers in places down here. I just came back from France. I was in the south of France, and there's barriers up on the streets in Aix-Provence. You can't even drive up the street. Yeah. There's 2 police officers at every street. We have to harden these targets.
All right.
You know, it's not the nice way to live, but you know, you talk about seeing something and saying something. People have to learn that they've got to say it. You know, you've got to be out there. I would rather say something and be wrong than not say something and be wrong.
Former NYPD Special Investigator Michael Solomon, thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it very much.
You're very welcome, Ed. Thank you.